they blend in. All the other little creatures are completely at home in their environment. They blend in. You and I are the only creature that is totally disoriented in our environment. And that is because we've been given the godlike ability to create our own environment. Now think about that. We can create our own environment. They said, what do you want? I said, I want to be able to press a button, cameras come out of the ceiling that permit me to communicate all over the world. Now, I was exaggerating, really. But they took me serious, so I didn't let them know. What's called, I think Paul would recognize, called a floating cell. It's a house within a house. So then I was introduced to Richard Roeder. Now, Richard, describe what you built in my backyard.
Well, I think we built what was alive in your imagination. We built your vision.
Now, if what was done, if I wanted it edited, do I have to have somebody come in there to do it?
No, you don't.
Where could they be?
They could be anywhere in the world.
You've got to make up your mind that you're prepared to shift. You've got to make up your mind you're going to alter your perception. Perception is a mental faculty. You can look at everything you're doing different than you're looking at it. Whatever you're doing, you can turn your annual income to a monthly income. There isn't anybody any better than anybody else. It doesn't matter where you come from. What matters is, where are you going to go? What are you going to do? You see, you can literally turn your annual income into a monthly income. You don't have to ask yourself how you're going to do it or if you're going to do it. If you do that, think of all the things you could do by doing that. Money's only used for two things. One is to make you comfortable, and the other is to extend the good you do far beyond your own presence. You don't have to know how to do something. Yet, do you want to do it? You've got to loosen your mind. You've got to let your paradigm stop controlling you. Let your mind take off. Do I want to do this? Do I want to do this? It's used for two things: make you comfortable and extend the good you do far beyond your own presence. Then start to understand there isn't anybody in the world that's better than you, and there isn't anybody that's any less than you. We're all the same. We look different, we sound different, we speak different languages, but we're all the same. Now, if you turned your annual income to a monthly income, what could you do with it? My goodness, there's so many things you can do. I'm going to tell you one thing you're not going to do with it. You're not going to take it with you. This idea of saving for your old age, saving for a rainy day, you'll get a rainy day. I follow their pattern. Andrew Carnegie spent half of his life earning money and the other half giving it away. Givers gain. You want to willingly give and graciously receive. You want to expand your mind. Expand your mind. What are you actually capable of doing? Now think. It's where you are and it's where you're going. That's all you need. It's so simple. You got to know where you are. You know where you are. You got to know where you're going. And you know something? Most of you don't know where you're going. You say, oh yeah, we do. No, you don't. Most people are setting goals to do what they think they can do. They're taking into consideration what they know. They're taking into consideration the connections they've got. They're taking into consideration the money they've got. They're taking into consideration the people they're working with.
None of that matters.
None of that matters. Yet, that's doing what you think you can do. You've got to say, what do I really want to do? Jessie was, when Sandy was sitting there, what do I really want to do? She didn't want to keep doing what she was doing. But she had never thought of that before. What do I really want to do? Do you know, wants come from the essence of who you are. Spirit, understand spirit. You're a spiritual being. Spirit's always for expansion and fuller expression. It's never for disintegration. It's always for expansion and fuller expression. You'll never be satisfied with where you are. Most people are afraid to even say they're dissatisfied. They think that means they're not happy. You can be very happy where you are and totally dissatisfied. That's two different things. I'm very happy with where I am, totally dissatisfied with the results we're getting. Dissatisfaction is part of the essence of spirit. Spirit's always for expansion and fuller expression. It's never for disintegration. So you see that want, it comes into your consciousness from the essence of who you are. There's perfection within you, and spirit wants to express itself in a greater way. So don't ask, can you? How are you going to? Where's the money? Forget all that. This is so simple. Where you are, where do you want to go? It's so simple. Why are so many people stuck? Why are so many stuck? I'd been raised to believe if you're going to earn a lot of money, you got to be really smart. I knew I wasn't very smart, but I was earning a lot of money. I was raised to believe if you don't go to school, you can't get a good job. I didn't have a good job. I owned the company. You see, a lot of people think the problem's goals. I don't think so. I think the problem's over here. The problem isn't knowing where you're going, because I think we do have these dreams flying into our mind. The problem's knowing where we are. See? There's the problem right there, paradigms. It's the program that's controlling you. You'll find people that are absolutely brilliant, but they're not doing what they know. See, being brilliant isn't the answer. It's executing what you know that's the answer. That's really the trick of life. Learning how to do what you know how to do. And that's really where we're going. He said, do you ever read anything? And I said, no, I can't read. And that wasn't true. I could read, not well, but I could. I have found out that I read about as well as most people. Do you know the average person reads at about a grade 7 level? You watch their eyes, it goes click, 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 boom, click, click, click. They sound out mentally every word. A book is a picture painted in words, and you get the picture. Because that's what the book is. Words are symbols, and every symbol has corresponding images. You put the right words together, and you build images. The laws never change. This whole universe is run by law. The laws never change, ever. But they all buy into the same concepts. And of course, you can tell by the results they get. They get great results. Well, they won't settle for anything but what they want. Now, when you want something, you can't let other people's level of performance dictate your wants. You've got to get what you want. You've got to go after what you want. And sometimes you'll be considered unreasonable. That's okay. Don't let that bother you. What somebody else thinks of you is not important. It's what you think of you that's important. See, that's another part of the paradigm. I thought there was security in a job. You see? Now, if you think there's security in a job and you lose your job, you're toast, because then you're going to be totally demoralized. If you haven't got security inside, you haven't got it. It's an inside job. I'll give this up, but what about? No. Let go. When you're going ahead, the only thing you can measure is what you're giving up. What about what's coming? You know what's coming? What you want. But you've got to be able to pay the price. You've got to have guts. If you haven't got guts, you don't deserve it. You think when a person getting terrible results that they know they're doing something wrong. You know something? A lot of people don't know. It wasn't too long before I wouldn't have known that. They're getting bad results. They're trying to pretend like they're getting good results. They're putting on a front because they are afraid of what you think. I was at the point now where I really didn't.
All right, guys, let's get this call started. Here we go. Grand Rising. Happy Monday. It is November 24th, and I am so excited to be on this call with everybody. If everybody can hear me, see me good, just give me some 111s in the chats. If everybody can hear me and see me good. I decided to run my call right from here from the office because I had calls here last night that I was doing. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just run it up here and let me get the play running. Okay, let me just go live on IG, make sure that everybody on IG can also hear me and see me. All right, guys, and there we are. Excited to be here. Yes. Thank you guys so much. I hope everybody is having a really good morning. I feel literally on top of the world. Anytime I get a chance to finish my full morning routine, it always feels truly amazing to finish it because, I woke up early this morning. I went for a morning jog. After my morning jog, I went to the gym, got a good back and bicep workout in, some sauna sessions, came home, walked the dogs, was able to go to the pool, get some meditation in while also visualizing my goals while the sun was hitting my face, and then some Bible study, some reading, some journaling, some audio listening. I listened to the audio that I have playing there for like 2 hours today. So overall, I just feel so full, right? When you just poured so much into yourself, that's how I feel right now. And the month of November has definitely been a November to remember for me. I've been closing some of my biggest deals this month. Obviously, we came back from the amazing retreat, the solstice retreat, which I'm so excited for that we finished. We completed it. Actually, today, I have the phone call for the next retreat that I'm working on for the first quarter of the year. So, get ready. Another retreat will be loading up here soon. Recap video also loading up this week so that you guys can catch up on the recap of the amazing retreat. Also, if you haven't followed the new Instagram page for the retreat so you can stay up to date to the retreat page, it's called Retreats by Nano. That's where all the content is going to be. I see a lot of my family on here. I see you, G Hundo. I see you, Kura. I see you, Sophia. I see you, John. I see you, Kay, Callie, Eunice, Junior, Michelle. I see you, Bianca. Let's go, sis. My brother Drillin's on the call this morning. Man, we got the whole family on here today. So I'm excited and I'm very blessed and grateful to be on this call with all of you. I hope everybody did their morning routine. Real quick, if you did your morning routine, if you've poured into yourself this morning, give me some 222s in the chat box. I see you, Michaela. How are you? So blessed to see you. All right. Well, feeling good, feeling blessed. As I said, guys, I'm on that 2026 energy right now. That's where I'm at right now. I'm not in 2025. 2025 ended for me. I see you, Isabel. What up, my sister, my Puerto Rican sister? I see you, sis. Baton, I see you, brother. Clem, I see you, bro. So we're here, and I'm on that. Lucky, I see you. Lucky was goody. Jennifer, I see you. Awesome. Well, look, I'm excited. I'm excited because, as you guys know, it's a new week. It's Thanksgiving week. I'm actually going to be flying to New York on Wednesday for a Thanksgiving dinner. As we all know, I love being back home with my family for New York. So I always fly back home for the holidays, and I make sure that, I spend time with family as well. So pray that everybody has safe travel. So where anybody else is going and spending time with family. But let's get started with today's call. So today's call, I titled it, "Don't Fight the Old, Build the New." So at the top of your paper, I want you guys to write down, "Don't fight the old, build the new." Now, I'm going to get really, really intentional with today's training. So I want you guys to take notes because I'm going to walk you guys through kind of like how it is that, wow, you know what's funny? I'm looking at this right now. I'm looking at this thing on my paper, on my list right here, on my table, and I'm like, I think I want to do my retreat like this. I want to put my retreat on a piece of paper like this. This looks super nice. Looked better than mine, obviously, but damn, I don't know why I just had that thought in the middle of me doing this training. Sorry, guys. I looked at it and I'm like, man, that would have looked nice to have my retreat on a piece of paper like that. That would have looked nice, even though mine was nice, but I would have liked to have it. What's up? How are you? It's nice to see you. But let's get started with today's call. I hope everybody's feeling good and is feeling blessed. But here we go. So today I was sitting down, right? And as you guys know, I'm listening to my audios. And a lot of people ask me, well, Nano, how do you come up with the topics for Mornings with Nano? Everybody always asks me that question. It's actually a very familiar question that I get all the time. Nano, how do you come up with the topics for Mornings with Nano. Now, the truth is this. I have many different ways to come up with topics for Mornings with Nano. As you guys know, since I've been doing this call now for 6.5 years, there's so many different ways for me to come up with topics. And some of the ways I come up with topic is old topics that I've done, books that I'm reading, audios that I listen to, events that I go to, breakthroughs that I have, conversations that I have, things that I listen to. They come from many different places, right? And when you do a call every single day, Monday through Friday, 5 days a week, anywhere between 15 to 20 times a month, you got to come up with different topics. And a lot of them will be similar. A lot of them will be the same topic, just said different ways, because it's all the same thing. But I always have to think of different ways to share the same message. So today, as I was reading, no, sorry, not as I was reading, but as I was listening to my audio, I heard this thing that clicked for me, right? And I've listened to this audio over 100 times for sure. But for some reason today, this hit for me. And I want to see if it hits for you too. So in the audio, it said, you never change things by fighting existing realities. You change things by building a new model and making the existing model obsolete. All right. I'm going to repeat that again. So I heard this in the audio today. It said, you never change things by fighting existing reality. You can only change things by building a new model and making the existing model obsolete. Now, as you guys know me, I'm very big into AI. And with AI, I have access to Bob Proctor. Now, I asked Bob to explain this to me in simple terms. I said, can you explain this to me in simple terms? And I knew what he meant. I understood what he meant, but I wanted to take it a little bit deeper than just exactly what it said, right? So I'm going to repeat it again just in case you want to write this down. So what he said in the audio, he said, you can never change things by fighting your existing reality. You only change things by building a new model and making the existing model obsolete. Obsolete means it's gone, no longer in use, is done for, right? So I asked it to explain it to me in simple terms, right? He said this, you never change things by fighting the existing reality, because whatever you fight, you feed. I want you guys to write this down. You never change things by fighting the existing reality, because whatever you fight, you feed. It's where the saying goes, where attention goes, energy flows. Where attention goes, energy flows. So what ends up happening with a lot of people is that they're fighting their existing reality. They're fighting the fact that they don't have the money. They're fighting the fact that they're not where they want to be at. They're fighting the fact that they're not able to get their businesses off the ground. They're fighting existing realities. But what a lot of people don't understand is that point that he said right there, is that whatever you fight, you feed. It says the moment you focus your energy on the problem, you are reinforcing it. You give it power, you give it attention, and you give it an emotional charge. And remember, thoughts become things. What you emotionally engage with, it expands. So I needed to hear that, because guess what? There's problems that I'm giving energy to. Does anybody else relate on this call? Put a 2 if you relate to what I'm saying. Is there any problems right now that maybe you're giving energy to, that maybe you're giving thought to, that maybe you're thinking about more than you're supposed to? That happens. It's natural. We're programmed to think that way. We're programmed to think about it that way. But I want you guys, I'm going to repeat this again, because I need you guys to, I need you to remember this. I need this to hit for you. He said, you never change things by fighting the existing reality, because whatever you fight, you feed. Whatever you fight, you feed. The moment you focus your energy on the problem, you are reinforcing it, which basically means the moment you focus your energy on it, you are just giving it more energy. You just reinforcing it. Yep, I'm in this problem. You give it power, you give it attention, and most importantly, you give it emotional charge. And remember, thoughts become things. So the reason why a lot of the problems that everybody that typed the 2, believe it or not, and this is me myself as well, the only reason we have those problems is because we've given them attention, energy, and emotional charge. And because our thoughts become things, that's the reason why the problems are in our lives. That's the reason why the problems are in our lives, is because a month ago, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, 6 months ago, we thought about this problem. We got emotionally involved with this problem. We engaged in this problem, and now we're seeing the physical of it. The thoughts became things now. The thoughts became problems now. Now you're seeing the problems in your business. Now you're seeing the problems in your bank account. Now you're seeing the problems in your family. Now you're seeing the problems in your relationships. Now you're seeing the problems physically, but it was once something that you gave thought to, once something that you gave energy to and attention to, and that's why it's happening now. So, Nano, what do we do instead? What we do instead is we build a new model. Right? We build a new model. This is what it simply means. You create a new idea in your mind, a new picture, a new way of being that is so strong, it is so vivid, so attractive that the old pattern cannot survive next to it. All right? So the problem with us is that we're trying to fix the old version of us instead of building a new version of us. We need to get rid and stop trying to fix the old problems and start to step into a newer version of ourselves. Because we got to remember, our subconscious mind can't operate with 2 contradictory models at the same time. So whatever you choose to feed with emotion and repetition and imagination is what's going to become the dominant paradigm. So you can't feed the old version of yourself while trying to feed the new version of yourself. It's never going to work. It's contradictory. It's not going to work because you keep feeding the old you, but also you keep feeding the new you. This morning, I woke up at 6 a.m. From 6 a.m., it's about to be 11 a.m. From 6 a.m. to 11 a.m., all I've done is feed the new Nano. I woke up early. I went on a run. This is uncomfortable Nano. Going on runs. I'm in the gym. I'm in the sauna. I'm reading. I'm doing my Bible study. I'm doing my prayer. I'm visualizing myself. I'm speaking my goals into reality. I'm writing it down in my journal. I'm on Mornings with Nano. I'm bringing good energy. I'm in the office today. I'm stepping into a new version. I heard that today, and I said, I can't go back to old Nano. Old Nano would have been me waking up late. Old Nano would have been me rushing to my morning routine. Old Nano would have done other things. But I said, I can't be in the same. That can't work. I need to fully commit to the new version of Nano. And if at any point throughout the day, I get, how do we call that? You get urges. That's the word I'm looking for. If I get an urge to be the old Nano, I need to pause it. I need to stop it, and I put it to dead. Because I need to remember, I need to buy into the new version only until the old one is obsolete. Because here's the thing, once that new model is established in your mind, you got to establish it emotionally, mentally, and vibrationally. If you do that and you establish it, remember, it takes time to establish a paradigm. It takes 21 days to break a paradigm, and it takes anywhere between 66 to 90 days to establish a new one. I'm working on my 2026 vibration and paradigm from now. I love that, APZ. He said, we buying into something, might as well buy into something new. I agree with you, bro. I agree with you 100%. We should buy into something new. Let's buy into something new. I want to give a shout out to my sister, Susan, my sister, Isabel, my brother, Troy. Why do I want to give those three a shout out real quick? Because ever since we left the retreat, they've been on point with their morning routines. The reason why I know that's because they posted every morning in our chat. They've been on point. This morning, I sat down and I texted, hey, who's up with me at 6 a.m.? They were all up with me, doing their morning routines, working on themselves, doing what was required. You know what they're doing? They're letting go of that version of themselves, right? That version of themselves that they showed up to the retreat as is not the version of themselves that they are today. Right now, they are literally the perfect example of this training right here. They're not fighting the old. They're stepping into the new. They're stepping into the new. Now we have an accountability chat. Everybody's up on time. We're all reading together. We're reading. We're journaling. We're doing everything that we were doing in El Salvador. It's almost like we're now doing it in our own homes. But think about it. Spiritually, we're really all there together. Spiritually and in our minds, we're sitting on the beach in El Salvador, meditating and visualizing and reading and journaling and doing it all together. That's what it's all about. It's stepping into that new version. Because here's the thing, and here's the truth you all need to hear. Most people stay stuck because they spend all their time trying to repair, trying to resist, and analyze their current circumstances. But what a lot of people don't know is that you are the problem and you are the solution. You are the problem and you are the solution. Nano, what's the problem? The problem is the current way of you thinking. Your current paradigm is the problem. But the solution is the new model that you build. You gotta build the new model, the new you. That is the key. That was the whole idea behind my retreat. When I did my retreat, the whole idea was, think about it. It was called Solstice Retreat by Nano, but I don't know if you guys saw the quote that goes below it, where endings become beginnings. That was my intention behind the retreat. I wanted people's old lives to end and a new beginning to start. I'm already seeing the effects of it. There's people that are no longer the same because guess what? They are now the new version of themselves. They don't even know who they once was. They don't even want to go back to who they once was because they're so in love with the newer version of themselves. And it's only a matter of time now before they start to see the bigger changes in their lives in 2026. Because obviously now it's going to take time. They gotta buy into this new model now until it becomes obsolete. But the thing is, the same way we all did it at the retreat in El Salvador, everybody can do the exact same thing right now. Okay, so here's the 4 points. I'm gonna give you guys 4 lessons here on how to change things by fighting the old and building the new. I'm gonna give you 4 points that was just an intro message. That was just the intro message, Clem. That was just the intro message. Let me give you guys the training now. Here's the training on how to make sure that you stop fighting the old and build the new. Point number 1, keep in mind this. What you fight, you amplify. What you fight, you amplify. Every time you focus on the existing problem, you're feeding it energy. Every time you focus on fighting the existing problem, you're feeding it energy. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're a salesperson and you keep saying, well, I just need to stop being so inconsistent. I need to stop procrastinating. Think about what that person is saying. I just need to stop being inconsistent. I just need to stop procrastinating. Let's all be real quick. Type a 3 in the chat box if you've ever heard yourself say that, or if you've said that recently. Right? Let me put a 3 in the chat myself, because I've said that. I'm here to tell you guys the truth. You know, I'll never lie to you guys. I've said that before. I just need to stop being inconsistent. I just need to stop procrastinating. I said that the other day, as a matter of fact, I think like 2 weeks ago with the gym. Somebody told me, so I forgot who came. My little brother, I remember now. I said it to my little brother. My little brother came up to me like, yo, what happened, bro? You was in the gym. You all year you've been on the gym, off the gym, on the gym, off the gym. He says, yo, you let all this traveling get to you sometimes. And I'm like, yeah, man, I just need to stop being inconsistent. I need to stop procrastinating so much. What am I doing there, though? If you think about it, what am I doing there? Right? I'm fighting my existing reality. All right? I'm fighting the existing reality. What did I just say? Whatever you fight, you amplify. Every time I focus on that existing problem, I'm feeding it energy. By me saying that to my little brother, even though I said it innocently, right? Even though I said it innocently and I said, yo, you know what, man, I'm just working on, I just need to stop being inconsistent, bro. It sucks, bro. I just been procrastinating with it. Just because I said that, think about it. I spoke it. I emotionally imprinted it in my paradigm. Vibrationally, I brought myself down, because think about it. The word inconsistent and procrastination, those are low vibrational words and emotions and feeling. So naturally, I degraded myself by saying those things. It wasn't like I said, nah, bro, I am consistent. I don't procrastinate anymore. That's a different vibration. Look, even the way that I said it was different. See the difference? We don't realize how the words that we say, the things that we repeat to ourselves over and over and over again, how much it destroys us. We say it so innocently and so chill and so relaxed, like, yeah, man, you know, I just been struggling. I just haven't been able to be consistent. But what you don't understand is that every time you say that, every time you speak that, every time that you put that vibration out there, it's just destroying you more and more and more and more. That's the reality of it. Now, I'm aware of it and I can make the shift. But guess what happens, right? Here's the secret. You need to shift from, I need to stop procrastinating, to, I am a person who executes fast and decisively. I no longer have an issue with being consistent. I am consistent. I am who it is that I say that I am. The gym has become my best friend. I love waking up early and on time. I wake up every day full of energy. That's the new model. And that's what you want to repeat to yourself. That's why I be telling people all the time that tell me, you know which is one I hear all the time? Nano, I don't know how you do it, bro. I am not a morning person. How many of us have said that? Many times. I am not a morning person. Listen to what you're saying. I am not a morning person. Of course, you're never going to be one. Look at what you are affirming to yourself about yourself. Oh, Nano, I can't read. You know how many people I've heard tell me, I can't read. I can't post on social media. I can't. Guys, let's start being aware of what we are saying. The words that we are saying are creating our paradigm, the way that we think, and the way that we think is what's creating the problems in our lives. We can do and be and do anything that we want in life. We can do anything we want in life. We need to change the identity. Stop feeding the old and start feeding the new. Stop feeding the old, start feeding the new. Who's the new? The new version of you is consistent. The new version of you is disciplined. The new version of you shows up. The new version of you loves waking up early. The new version of you is a morning person. The new version of you can read, is consistent with their posting on social media. The new version of you is a woman and a man of God. The new version of you is exactly who you want to be. Let's focus on that version. The new version of you doesn't struggle with money. You have more than enough money. Let's start feeding the new with intention. That's the key. That's the key right there. All right. So point number one that I wanted to make is what you fight, you amplify. Stop fighting that old you and the current you, because the problem is it's the current us that we got to change. The current us is the one that needs to change. Yo, let that person go. Let that person die. Aren't you sick and tired of being sick and tired already? Let's get done with it. Point number two I want to make. Build a new model so strong that the old one can't survive. That's the key. Build a new model so strong that the old one can't survive. Got to remember this. I don't want the old Nano to survive. The old Nano got me this far. I'm grateful. Thank you, old Nano. But the old Nano is not going to get me to where I want to go. So I need to build a new Nano. All right, this is important. The old version of you got you this far till today. Monday, November 24th is about to be 11/11. All right, it got you this far. That's it. It's time for you to build a new version of you. That's all it is. And look, here's the reality of it. You could be broke right now. You could be fighting poverty. You could be in debt. You could be going through it all right now. And you could be like, no, but how do I build a new version of myself if I'm going through all of this? By building it. By identifying who that new version of you is and buying into that version of you. Buy into the successful version of you, the prosperous version of you, the abundant version of you. And people may think you're delusional. But guess what? Keep doing it day in and day out. And you do it with your actions. Remember, the physical will catch up. That's the biggest challenge that everybody deals with right there. The biggest challenge everybody deals with is the change, right? There's these emotional cycles of change. Let me see if I have a thing here of it. Do I have it? Yeah, here it is. There's the emotional cycles of change. Let me show you guys this. You guys are like, well, Nano, I gotta build a new version of me. Okay, well, here it is, right? Here's what everybody experiences in the emotional cycles of change, right? Stage number one, right? And I'm gonna use my retreat guests as an example. My retreat guests have left the Solstice Retreat in El Salvador. They're on top of the world. They are at stage one, uninformed optimism. What does that mean? That they have officially stepped in to the new version of themselves and they are optimistic. They love the feeling of waking up early, doing their morning routines. They're feeling on top of the world. They're writing their goals down. They're meditating. They're reading. They're on top of the world right now. This is called the honeymoon stage. This is the honeymoon stage. Whenever you're going through change, that first stage is the honeymoon stage because you're optimistic. You're hopeful of the future. You want everything to work out for you. You see the vision. You love it, etc., etc., etc. All right. But then what ends up happening is after a couple days or even a couple weeks, all right, what's going to happen is they're going to hit informed pessimism. Nano, what's this area? This is where they realize that, yo, this is actually harder than I thought. You know, I'm 14 days in, 21 days in. Man, I got to show up even though life is hard and things are going like this. And I had an argument in my relationship and So here's where people start to realize like, yo, this is not as easy as I thought it was going to be. It was easy when I was in El Salvador, right? Meditating on the beach with the sun out. But now I'm at home and it's cold and I don't have a beach to meditate at. I don't have a place. I don't have my accountability partners. I don't got Nano calling me to get down here. And now you start to realize that is as difficult as you once thought it was going to be, right? And this goes for everybody, right? You start to realize like, damn, going to the gym every day is not easy. Waking up and reading your Bible every day is not easy. Doing what you said you would do long after that feeling fades is not easy. So you hit informed pessimism. Then you hit stage 3, which is the valley of despair. All right. Now, the valley of despair is where you start to fall off, possibly, if you're not staying consistent. You slipped up a couple of times. You try to, you're kind of fighting. At this point, at the valley of despair, the key here, when you get here, here's where you start to get bored of the routine. Here's where you get bored of waking up early and just like, it's almost like a challenge to get you to get up. But the key here is to keep going. Like it says, time. You see what it says in the bottom? Time. Things I must experience. You just got to keep going here. The key here is to keep going. Don't stop. Because eventually what happens is you hit stage 4, informed optimism, which is, yo, I did it. I made it through. I went through a tough little moment. I went to a tough little season, but I'm here. I made it all the way through. And now I'm happy. I know that great things are coming my way. And then you hit stage 5, which is success and fulfillment. Most people experience this. And the beautiful thing about us, all of us on this call, is that we have each other. We got each other on this call. So we can all go through these stages. And as long as we are there for each other, we should be fine. I tell people this, yo, I've learned how to not even go to stage 3. I skip from stage 2 to stage 4. I don't even want to go to the valley of despair no more. Valley of despair is a tough place to be. I just go from 2 to 4. I skip 3. I'm like, stage 3 is not going to get me. Not this time. I've been down there way too many times. Way too many times. But I've learned that from stage 2 to stage 4, all it is a shift of paradigm. It's all it is. It's a shift. You just got to shift. Because at stage 2, if you stay there for too long, that's how you get to stage 3. But if you realize that you're at stage 2 and you realize like, damn, bro, this is hard and etc., and you're able to get yourself out of it fast and you catch yourself, then you're able, like, exactly. Yeah, so real. I catch myself and then I'm like, no, exactly. You got to catch yourself and be like, nah. And you're able to skip stage 3 and go straight to stage 4. That's the name of the game. That's key. So going back to what I was saying when it came to my training is that you got to build that new model so strong. And remember, the only way to build that new model that is so strong is you got to keep feeding it. You got to keep feeding it. You got to feed the new model. And the new model is an uncomfortable model. That's the thing about it. The only way you know if you're feeding the new model is if you're doing what makes you uncomfortable. Because if you're doing everything that you once did, then that means you're still feeding the old you. The only way you can feed the new model is by feeding yourself with uncomfortable actions. Waking up earlier, reading books, reading the Bible, journaling. Everything that you once didn't do, you got to start doing. Stop smoking, stop drinking. Listen to more audios than music. I listened to no music this morning. Zero music. I was looking at the audio and I looked into it. I was like, yo, I've listened to 2 hours and 15 minutes of my audio this morning. Zero music, not even while I was in the sauna or at the gym. Why? Because I wanted to feed myself all morning. While I was in the shower, audios, more. I need more. I promise you, this is the key. This is the key right here. You know why? Because I'm feeding the new model of Nano. The new model of Nano requires me to become obsessed with the new version of Nano. I wish I had my journal here. I would have read to you guys what I wrote down for my journal session. I wrote down the new version of Nano. What does that person look like? How does that person think? How does that person act? Everything, everything. At the gym, I listen to Neville Goddard. That's fire. I listen to gospel. Gospel's fire. Can't say no to gospel. Definitely can't say no to gospel. I love gospel. When I say music, I'm talking about, traditional music, the Bad Bunnies and the Drakes. Even though I love those guys, I listen to them still to this day. I love those guys. But in the mornings is for me, is to pour into me, is for that. You feel me? So you got to build the new model. And remember, you got to build it so strong that the old one can't survive. The old one cannot survive because of how amazing the new one is. You got to fall in love so much with the new version of you that you almost look at the old version of you and you're like, I can never go back to that person. It's you ever had somebody that starts to go to the gym and they can't imagine their lives without the gym anymore? That's what it is. That person that starts going to the gym and they start to see the progress in their lives and they see the weight being taken off and they're like, damn, bro, I can't believe that I was like this. And now, guys, we see it all the time with people in the gym. All they do is they buy into a new model, and that new model of them is them going to the gym consistently 5 days a week. Where they fall so in love with the gym that they can't even imagine their lives without the gym anymore. They're obsessed. They go, if it's raining, if it's snowing, if it's cold, whatever it is, they go. You know why? Because they're so in love with that newer model of themselves that they can't imagine the old version of themselves ever again. It becomes obsolete. Some of you guys didn't even know that this happens, but it happens around us all the time. It happens around us all the time. And the perfect example of it is people that go to the gym and do it consistently. If somebody goes from not going to the gym to going to the gym consistently, they start to basically feed the new model and starve the old one. And they starve it, and they starve the old one so much that they never want to go back to the old one because of how amazing the new one is. They can't imagine their lives back because that old version of them was lazy, inconsistent, not disciplined, lack of confidence. But this new version of them is positive, consistent, disciplined, believes in themselves, etc. It's the perfect example. So point number 2 I wanted to make is build a new model so strong that the old one can't survive. Number 3, remember, identity is what drives behavior, not willpower. Identity. Identity is what drives behavior, not willpower. Nano, what do you mean by that? Well, the thing is, you can't try to fight the old paradigm with willpower. All right. It's like trying to hold the beach ball underwater. It's always going to pop back up. All right. Identity is what's going to determine your behavior automatically, which means you got to be working on your self-image every day. All right. It's like the client or the person that wants to stop being the shy guy. He wanted to stop being the shy guy. Oh, I'm just shy. And he did the affirmations. He did the journaling. He read the confidence book. But guess what? He was still shy. But what he ended up doing was, in order for him to change, was he had to build a new identity. The identity that he was a confident communicator, someone that people enjoyed being around. And his behavior has to start to align with the person that he sees in his mind. You have to buy into the new version of you, but also apply it with action. Because you could say, I am confident, and then an opportunity for you to show your confidence shows up, and then you shy away from it. You can't say, I am consistent, and then tomorrow you have an opportunity to show your consistency, and then you choose to stay in bed. You can't. You have to align your words with your actions. Words and actions must align in order for you to build that new identity. I can't say, oh, Nano, I am disciplined, and then tomorrow I stay in bed. It's not going to work. It's never going to work. I have to align my actions, the things that I do, with the things that I'm speaking as well. It's important. It is so, so important. Because the thing is, I know a lot of people that do the work. They read the books, they visualize, they write the goals down, they do the affirmations, they do it. But then guess what? They don't allow the actions to align as well. They don't allow the actions to align. The actions must stay in alignment with the words. Words and actions must align in order for you to build that new identity. Because if it's not aligning, think about it, then you're destroying yourself because you're lying to yourself. Think about both scenarios. One scenario is I speak that I am disciplined and I act disciplined. I'm building myself up. The other scenario is I speak I'm disciplined, but I don't act and I don't take advantage of the opportunities to be disciplined. I'm destroying myself there. Because you say one thing and you do the other. And what does that do? It creates frustration. It destroys confidence. It destroys belief. We all know that. We've all been there. We've all been the people that say, yo, I'm going to go to the gym and we don't go. I'm going to wake up early and I don't wake up early. We all know that feeling. What does it do? It destroys our self-esteem. It destroys our confidence. The key is you say something and you do it, it aligns. Because if you say something and you don't do it and it doesn't align, then it destroys. Your goal from this day moving forward, and this should have been the goal all fourth quarter, you should be building yourself up. It's like building a brick. I am disciplined, you act disciplined. I am consistent, you act consistent. I am resilient, you act resilient. I am change, you change. And it's just building up, building up, building up, building up, building yourself up until you have that belief, until you have everything that you said in the physical. Don't worry about the time. Time is going to pass. Let God take care of the time. There's a Bible verse, and if somebody can help me find it real quick, there's a Bible verse that says, and when the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it right, or something like that. I know there's a Bible verse that says that in the Bible. I don't know it off the top of my head, but I know that there's a Bible verse that says, when the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it right. Yo, when he says is right, your job is to keep showing up. I just keep showing up. I'm so grateful. One of the most, think about that. The retreat happened exactly when it was supposed to happen. Amazing retreat, life-changing retreat, workshops, excursions, network, everything. Isaiah 60, verse 22, when the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. There you go. So it's not your job. Isaiah 60, 22. I got to remember that off the top of my head. When the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. What did he say? When the time is right. So all we got to do is keep building ourselves up every day, every day. Let that old you die. Just keep building yourself up every day, every day, every day, building you. And like it says in Isaiah 60, verse 22, and when the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. The goals, the dreams, the aspirations, everything that you want will happen. He's already showed me. Guys, I am an example of it. He has shown me through my accomplishments, through my fruit. And guess what? I never knew when it was going to happen, but it happened. I never knew when the retreat was going to happen, but it did. I never knew when I was going to have a successful organization, and it happened. I never knew when a lot of these things were going to happen, but they did. They did. And they happened. So that's the key. All right. And then last but not least, point number 4 that I want to make here. I've made 3 points so far. Right? We said we're going to start getting rid of the old and we're going to start building the new. We said number 1, whatever we fight, we amplify. Whatever you fight, you amplify. Number 2, we said build a new model so strong that the old one can't survive. We said number 3, to identity drives behavior, not willpower. And then last but not least, number 4, replace the old paradigm with a higher frequency. Remember this, you don't eliminate a paradigm, you override it. You don't eliminate a paradigm, you override it. And the only way to override it is through repetition. You got to repeatedly do something over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. You got to repeatedly do it every day. You want to go from making $5,000 a month to making $50,000 a month? You have to identify that new model and step into it. That's what I'm doing right now. I stepped into it. And it's funny because I'm thinking about the month that I've had, and this month, November, I've had the biggest month of the whole entire year. But look, it took 10 months of grind, 10 months of everything. And in November, I had my biggest month ever. One of my biggest months I've had in my career, I had it this month. Isn't that insane to think about? In 1 month, I've done what has taken me years to do. But why? Because I shifted. Number 4 was replace the old paradigm with a higher frequency. You don't eliminate a paradigm, you override it. You don't eliminate a paradigm, you override it. You got to override that old paradigm. You got to override it, fam. Promise you that. That's the key. And the only way to override something is by repeatedly doing something. But it's repeatedly buying into that new image. Who's going to be the new version of you this week? Oh, well, Nano, it's the holidays. What holidays? We only got Thanksgiving on Thursday. That's it. And Thanksgiving is a dinner at night. What are you doing in the morning beforehand? Don't give me that, oh, it's holiday season. Bro, if you're not where you want to be at, it's no holidays there's no even holidays for me. I just had the biggest month of the year for me. Ain't no holidays for me. I'm working Thursday morning. Yes, I'll take the break and I'll put my phone down and I'll put my business to the side on Thursday evening when I'm having dinner with my family, but I'm not where I want to be at. I'm working on Thursday. We're putting in the work on Thursday. And same thing for Christmas. Same thing for Christmas. God knows. God knows I've waited for this moment. It's no days off. And I'm grateful that I get a chance to have a good, abundant Christmas this Christmas. That I'll be able to buy my mom and my dad and my little brother, my girlfriend, my godson, all my people, I'll be able to get them good gifts. And obviously, yeah, I know it's a society thing and all of that stuff, but I want to be able to give. So for me, I'm just giving. But guess what? I get to do that because of the month I just had. None of it would have been possible if it wasn't for everything that has just happened for me. And it's all glory to God. The other day, I sat there and I got on my knees and I was just holding the Bible at my chest and just saying, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Just filled with an incredible amount of gratitude for everything that God is doing for me in my life right now. Just literally on my knees with the Bible, holding the Bible across my chest like this and just thank you, thank you, thank you. Like in words, dude, in words, you can't even explain it. Just pure gratitude for everything. because we've been working. And look, I haven't even had my best year. I believe I haven't even had my best year performance-wise. I know I could have performed so much more better. I know I could have been a lot more consistent, a lot more disciplined, a lot more in so many areas. And I was able to do everything I did this year, not even at my best. Imagine now going into next year as my best. Think about that. Who feels like they could have been, they could have performed better this year, they could have been more consistent this year, they could have read more this year? Who feels like that too? Type me in the chat if you also feel that as well. Right? Who feels like that too? Because I felt like that myself. I'm like, yo, and still God provided. Think about that. And still God provided. And still God blessed us. And still God put us in position to win and to elevate our lives. And still God was favorable. Imagine what God is going to do for us now that we stay consistent and we buy into this new version of us. Imagine now. It's going to be life-changing, fam. I'm telling you right now, what God is about to do to all of us in here, it's going to be absolutely mind-blowing. But remember, he's not going to bless who you pretend to be. He's going to bless who you really are. I'm going to repeat that. God does not bless who you pretend to be. He blesses who you really are. Who are you really? Buy into that new version of you. And that's who you really are, the new you. The new and improved version of James, of Eunice, of Kay, of Diamond, of Greg, of Lucky, of Sophia, of Wally, Ricardo, Isabel. Who else? We got John in here. We got Greg. We got Michelle. We got Susan. We got Troy. We got all of us. It's time. He's gonna bless the new and improved version of you. He's not going to bless who you pretend to be, that old version of you. He's not going to bless that person. He's going to bless the new and improved version of you guys. All right. So with that being said, that is my training for today. Put some 444s in the chat if you guys got value from today's training. All right. I'm on this journey with y'all. Remember, guys, this is easier said than it is done. Right. So I can teach you guys this stuff, but I'm also fighting the old as well. I'm also working on this stuff every day myself. This is not an easy walk in the park. I'm telling you, it's not. My sis Natalie's on here with me. Let's get it. Estamos aquí, Nana. I see you. Okay. The whole gang is plugged in today, man. You guys make me happy. I love to see. I see you, Laura. I see you. I see you. I see the family plugged in today, man. I'm happy that everybody's plugged in. Let's stay plugged in. All week is going to be powerful. Let's make sure that we work hard this week, that we do what we're supposed to do. And I'll see you guys again tomorrow for another great episode of Mornings with Nano. Sasha, I see you. If you guys haven't followed the retreats page, make sure you guys do. We're going to be dropping some content here this week for it. Retreats by Nano, so you guys can stay up to date to all the retreat content. And remember, I'm also going to be releasing the new retreat dates and everything here shortly. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. Also, by the way, I already committed next year, signed on document already for next year. We're going to do an El Salvador part 2 around the same time, end of November, early December. So just know it's already committed. I already signed the dotted line. Next year, we're going back for a part 2, but there'll be 2 retreats in between. So the goal is to have one in April. I'm going to do another one in August, and then December of next year around the same time. It's in December, first week of December. So the goal is retreats 3 times a year. April, August, December. Those are going to be the dates for next year, just so that you guys know what the dates for next year for El Salvador are December 3rd through the 7th. They're already confirmed. Like I literally signed the line already for next year. So they're already 100% confirmed. So December 3rd through the 7th of next year. We're going back to El Salvador, part 2. That's part 2 next year. But like I said, I will be doing 2 retreats prior to that. So I'm going to do one in April, and I'm going to be doing another one. Yeah, Misata, same one. Yeah, Misata, part 2. Misata, part 2. And then I plan on doing a retreat in April and then another one in August. So I'm working on that right now as we speak, so that for those that want to get one beforehand, because obviously nobody wants to wait a whole year before a retreat, but we will be back next year. So for my people that want to come out there, just know that there will be a part 2 to it. But next year it's going to be lit. So it's going to be next level. All right, guys. So I love y'all. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for jumping on today's call. We'll be back tomorrow for another great episode. And what I'll do is real quick, I'm going to do a little prayer for us. Like I said, right before I pray, I always like to make sure I mention I do this with respect to what everybody believes in. But let's have a really good prayer. I'm going to just pray over us real quick so we can go out there and have a great day. And if everybody can bow their heads, let's just do a quick prayer and let's go. Dear Heavenly Father, we just want to thank you so much for allowing us to wake up on this beautiful Monday morning. Today, we are filled with the Holy Spirit. We are filled with so much gratitude. And we just want to say thank you for this amazing week that we have ahead of us. We understand that in order for us to get to where we want to go to, we got to leave the old version of us behind and step into that new version. And that new version praises you, Father. That new version puts you first. That new version is disciplined. They're consistent. They're resilient. They're willing to do whatever it takes. And we embrace challenges more than we've ever been. So we're just so grateful for the guidance, the wisdom that you're continuing to pour into us each and every single day, Father. And we want to thank you for putting your healing hand over all of us and healing us of our traumas, our experiences, and the things that are no longer serving us. Everything that we do this week is to serve you, God, and to give you all the glory. So we thank you ahead of time for all the blessings, all the love, and everything that you're doing for us. On behalf of the whole community, we just want to say thank you. Let's have a great week and a great day. And in your name we pray. Amen. What a great call. What a great prayer. What a great group. It's the right people at the right place at the right time. The energy is amazing today. Does anybody else feel it, or is it just me? I don't know. Is it just me, or does anybody else feel this energy? Because the energy is through the roof right now. And I'm feeling really good. Yes, what a great life. What an amazing life. Today is different, D. I know. I feel it. And that's what it's all about. All right. So God bless you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, 10:30 a.m. Let's keep the energy up. Remember, keep buying into that new version of you. It's the new version of you. New. Forget the old. Out with the old, in with the new. Don't fight the old. Just buy into that new version of y'all. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. See you guys tomorrow. God bless everybody. Thank you, fam.